Welcome to the Out There channel, live stream 374. Oh, it's loud.
Hiding, I'm searching, I'm loving, I'm finding love, I'm hiding, I'm searching, I'm loving, I'm finding love.
Dark side. Let the fate control your body. At the beginning, there was
Why is it louder than normal? In the headset that is. No, it doesn't matter.
Hiding, I'm searching, I'm loving, I'm finding.
Yo. Hello. Hello. Good to be back. I'll be back. Always back, regardless of how many people attack me. That means we're doing something good for the ufology section, right? And people character attack you and slander you behind your back. So yeah, looks like it come up alright. Not sure how many people will be joining me, but we'll find out. So today the new Mars rover has landed. I think it landed actually, but we'll just have a quick look at their website. And I think they've got interviews after and all that sort of stuff going on at the moment. I think I might have missed it. I wasn't paying attention. They're playing overhead. I don't know if you can hear that or not. They're coming. So we're going to talk about Meta-Propulsion, what it really means, and also fuel cells, how it's related, and maybe moon stuff even. So we've got a wee bit there. Moon, and then we've got the Mars bit, so we go with that and see how we go. Hey, Area 51, how's it going? Yeah, so you might be the only one that joins us. But that's okay. Everything looks like it's working alright. How's the audio sounding? No damn crackle, I hope. Sounds clean this end. I think since I've updated the software, it may have fixed it, but you just don't know because it happens randomly. So yeah, so first up is the Mars mission. Here it is here. I don't know if it's still live or not. It says it's live. Let's have a look. Looks like the chat stopped. I think it must have landed safely. I'll give you a link to it and you can go and re-watch it probably. Mission to Mars. Another mission. This rover's different. It's meant to have a drone attached to it this time, so it can actually fly and look at the terrain above, which is probably a first, wherever it can fly in the atmosphere. And looks like it may have ended. It's gone dead, isn't it? Amazing, congratulations. So it must have all gone to plan. So let's just roll it back and just have a quick look at where they got to. Here's all the eggheads. The audio's pretty crap. What was that?
now has radar lock on the ground. Current velocity is about 100 meters per second, 6.6 kilometers of the surface.
Let's see if I can boost it up.
Perseverance is continuing to descend on the parachute. We are coming up on the initialization of terrain relative navigation.
Here it comes.
And subsequently the priming of the landing engines. Our current velocity is about 90 meters per second at an altitude of 4.2 kilometers.
Almost there.
We have confirmation that the lander vision system has produced a valid solution and part of terrain relative navigation. We have timing of the landing engines. Current velocity is 83 meters per second.
So how are they
at
filming
about
it? Is it just
2.6
computer
kilometers
graphic,
from the
I think?
surface Mars. We have confirmation that the back shell has separated. We are currently performing the divert maneuver.
Okay, there you go, look.
75 meters per
It's got the
second
rocket,
at an
little rocket
altitude
thing
of
that
about a
flies
kilometer
above the
off
surface and then
of
lowers
Mars.
it down like a crane.
Here in Safety Bravo.
We have completed our terrain relative navigation. Current speed is about
I think that's a computer
30 meters
animation.
per second, altitude of about 300 meters off the surface of Mars.
Coming down.
We have started our constant velocity accordion, which means we are conducting the sky crane, about to conduct the sky crane maneuver.
We've lost direct to Earth tones.
It's pretty cool, the crane, I reckon.
As expected.
Here it
Sky crane
comes.
maneuver has started,
It's lowering it down.
about 20 meters off the surface.
20 meters. Of course, it probably takes 8 minutes to get a radio signal.
We're getting signals from MRO.
It must be on the ground now. 20 meters ain't much.
UHF is good.
Takes 8 minutes to get a confirmation, probably.
Perseverance safely
There you
on the
go.
surface of Mars, ready to begin
Another rover. How long that?
flight.
How long will that last? I wonder. All right, man.
The descent stage has flown away to a safe distance. Perseverance is continuing to transmit direct through Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter to Earth.
Where's the champagne and all that popping?
MRO reports they're still getting telemetry from the lander.
All right, all stations.
We got it.
Touchdown confirmed. We're going to wait for the images.
And they got a TR-3B that can fly there within a second, you know.
The team is beside themselves.
We're still landing
So
rovers.
surreal. Stay tuned. We might get some pictures.
Great.
Might get some pictures. Now let's skip it on a wee bit. Oh, here we go. Got some pictures coming in. So how long does it take for a signal to come from Mars? I think it's about 7 minutes, isn't it? Can't be that long. That's the sun, surely. How long takes? Well, Mars is pretty close to the sun, though, isn't it? How long takes radio signal from Mars? 5 to 20 minutes. Why isn't that long? So 7 minutes wasn't too bad of a guess then. 5 radio signal travels, distance between Mars and Earth. Okay, because it's an elliptical orbit, isn't it? So it depends what part. Let's see. I wonder if it's got a map to show you how the time works. Yeah, Venus is closer. So, is that the new rover? It's meant to have a drone on it. And it's got a probe here for sampling soil. So this is obviously on their mission page that come up with the specs. So I was hoping for a map of how it flew there. Let's see, there might be some maps. There we go. What's that one got? So, were any UFO channels doing this live with NASA at all? I don't think there was. Maybe I'm the first one to talk about it. Okay. So, yeah. Not really getting a good map up here, are we? Earth orbit and Mars. So you can see here, obviously the shorter distance here, so that'd be 5 minutes. And you can see it's not quite a circular orbit. And it gradually gets further away, further away, further away. So if it's on the other side, I suppose it takes 20 minutes to get over that way. There you go. So it's on the other side of Earth, not. I thought it was on the inside. Got to remember that saying. It's great. It's like a singing thing that you say. It gives you the order of all the planets. I wonder if we can find the Mars path. Mars Rover space map. Yeah, right. It's giving us all sorts of other maps. What have I spelt wrong? Here we go. I hate this keyboard. It's always one over to my old one. I never got used to it. One key over makes a difference. Location map for Perseverance Rover. That must be it. Landing site. Here we go. Doesn't tell us much. One of the space map. And it's an interactive map. So they've gone for a crater by the looks of it, inside a crater. Oh, one's gone out too far. Although, what did they choose there? Where does it disappear to? Yeah. So you can see it's a crater, but when you zoom in, you can't really see it's a crater. Looks like a damn rocky terrain to land. I suppose it might be smooth here. How's it going to get out of that? Looks pretty steep climb there. Got to go up here, I suppose. Go this way. Well, at least they got the heli thing. Drone thing. Quadcopter or whatever it's called. No, still no space map that I was after. Okay. That's landing site. 2020 mission. Let's have a look. I suppose it's going to be on the TV news now, is it? Because it only just happened not long ago. Oh, there we go. So it's landing in there, is it? Or landing at the base of this. Kind of looks like it's at the base of that thing. There it is there. Okay, you've got some more maps, but no space map. Oh well, we'll push on. And we're just skimming through
And
here.
its future plans.
So for robotic exploration, every time we execute a mission with new instruments, we discover new things and things we never thought. Resocialization experiment.
Thanks so much, Rick.
Biggest and
Give us
best rover we've
some
ever sent to
graphic
Mars.
animations, guys.
Yet, had PPE and our safe distancing and
Difficulty.
There we go.
Very
Let's go back a bit.
It's extremely difficult to fly.
Oh, there you go.
Mars because the atmosphere is so thin.
It is landing
Plus,
just
at
outside
Mars
that
it's
thing,
less
like
than
I said.
1%. So the first and foremost challenge is to make a vehicle that's light enough to be lifted. And then the second is to generate lift. The rotor system has just been very fast. 2,000, 2,200, 2,400, 2,600. We're spinning between 2,000 and 3,000 revolutions per minute, and it takes a lot of energy. So it's that balance of a very light system, yet having enough energy that's needed to, spin the rotor so fast to lift, and on top of
I see they charge batteries.
The autonomy.
It has to be fully autonomous from the time it takes off to the time it lands. What we do on the ground is we plan the flights, and so we determine from here where we want the helicopter to go.
Okay, he's calling it a
Our
helicopter.
experiment window is 30 Martian days. So we have planned up to 5 flights of incremental difficulty.
Very first flight, the main thing is we want to get the legs off the ground, and so we will basically go up about 3 meters, and we'll hover there, and then we'll come down again, and that will be the first.
It's interesting they didn't go with a quad
most of our flights will be at the 3 to 5
drone, eh? Because they're a lot more easier to control, I would have thought.
Probably go out, 50, 70 meters and come back. In successive flights, we'll probably
They're
push
using a
that
double
further,
rotor
try to go
system
further.
so it doesn't
So
spin,
our priority
right?
will be to get back engineering telemetry and not so much images, but I'm sure we'll return a few, because they'll always look cool.
At this point, we've tested all we can on Earth. We have mathematical.
Oh, there you go. It landed. Let's reload the page now and see what happens. Hopefully it's still there. So they blabbed for 2 hours today. Wow. So I wonder how many people were waiting before it landed. They got the comments turned off, the ratbags. So here's the thing that lands the thing down. I actually did a funny thing for the last rover, right? What's that called now? It actually has the Mars rover coming down, and aliens on Mars see it coming down. And they call it swamp gas or something. What's it called? Mars. And it actually has an emanation off the other one. So I did this one here, the Tesla car, where it got to in space, and it crashes into Mars, which is kind of funny. If you've not seen it, go and check it out. The ending will have you cracked out. So that's not the one I'm talking about though, but SpaceX car to Mars. Go and have a watch of it. It's actually quite good emanation of the whole thing from start to where it was heading to. And it's got some good graphics in it that I joined together and stuff. Okay, this one here. Martians watch UFO on Mars. It's kind of my crazy Kiwi humour, if you've not seen it. Mission to Mars. UFO spotted on Mars. So I'll just play the beginning of it anyway, just for a bit of a laugh. It's got the old opening with the OT character. It's meant to be an alien. And the 3 eyes are meant to be like a triangle UFO. So I did this in 2018, huh? So this is the first rover there, coming down on that thing.
Hey mate, that's a UFO, is it not?
Nah, it's just a weather balloon.
And here's some more emanation of it. Whoosh. And then it goes and crashes. They don't land it, they just simply shoot it up until it runs out of fuel. And then it just comes down.
Wow, Planet X, Nibiru, right?
See, I can do.
That is Venus.
See, I can do fake UFOs. It's just as good as Third Phase of the Moon, but if better.
It's just passing the sun.
So I have these aliens with different names on them, different colours or whatever. Here's UFO Jesus.
Holy, it's UFO Jesus.
Hell no, that's just an optical illusion called swamp gas.
So UFO Jesus is swamp gas. How accurate was that prediction? Oh, this bit's a bit funny. Ancient aliens.
Aliens, extraterrestrial visitor. Aliens, extraterrestrial visitor. Extraterrestrials, we are not alone. Extraterrestrials, we are not alone.
Aliens!
So to
this time I think you are right. Man, they are sure crazy looking.
They are indeed.
Extraterrestrial.
So yeah, so my sense of humour there. So what if they're on a planet, right, and we're visiting their planet? We would be aliens to them, right? So I've turned it around and using the same excuses we did for like swamp gas and whatnot, weather balloons.
Extraterrestrials tampering with our DNA. So we're half human and half extraterrestrial. We're hybrids.
There you go, guys. I bet you didn't know that we're hybrids. So you can go and rewatch that properly if you want to. But yeah. So one of my first ones was this one here, taking the P out of secured scene and UFO Proof. At the time, I thought UFO Proof was a good person, but I still left it up anyway, even though we know otherwise. Just get past that.
From Wet Dreams 10. I've just got this footage in email sent from
Right.
California.
I changed the names.
What's up, guys? This is Styler from Wet Dreams 10. I've just got this footage in email sent from California. This one was in her kitchen when she looked out her window, which she never normally does. But for some reason, she had this telepathic feeling to look out the window. There she saw a wave of UFOs in the sky. Here is the original footage. I've done some tweaks to enhance it so you can see it better. It's amazing, really. I've not seen anything like this before. I've been doing this for 20 years now, and I've got thousands of videos sent to me over the years to my channel. The government agents out there will call this fake news, for sure, and they will attack me in the media. Don't listen to them. I now have 700,000 followers. They would know if I was a fake or not. I think this is a UFO invasion. What do you think? I've been called for using hypey titles to try and get clickbait. There's all lies, I tell you.
Hang on, UFO cop is here to sort out the lies. What a beep person. It brings disgrace to the UFO community. I really can't stand these beep type people. They are terrible. Beep.
As you know, he swears a lot.
I am here to clean up the UFO community. It's about time we took it back. I know what a balloon looks like, and that to me looks like a balloon invasion, not a UFO invasion. What do you think? I think he's just jealous of my girlfriend. He calls me a government agent. I know what a real UFO looks like. He's never seen one. I was on my roof and I saw one. Why I was on the roof, that's another matter. What a load of beer poo. I should know, I'm from Canada.
Fake news. It's everywhere. It's caused me to lose the election. That is lies. 3 million illegal aliens did not vote for me.
Yeah, certainly voted for Biden. Yeah, I'll leave it there. It just goes on a wee bit more. But yeah, that's like one of my first ones I've done a month after being on the UFO channel, seeing the same old rhetoric used, you know. 700,000 subscribers can't be wrong. We're the best #1 UFO channel. How many times you heard that kind of bullshit from that Third Phase of the Moon and Tyler? Yeah. So yeah, I was taking a Mickey out one of his videos. One of his videos actually was a shoe on a power pole like that, and you couldn't see the I think it was on fishing wire. Maybe someone tied it on fishing wire and threw it over, or it got edited out, one or the other. But yeah, he had several ones like that. He also had a fishing wind-up device thrown over the telephone wire that was connected to a house. So I've debunked all those ones in the past, but yeah. You may not have gone through all my past ones here, but there's all sorts of crazy stuff I've done. You gotta have a sense of humour in this game. But that was back when UFO Proof was actually debunking stuff, and now he's teamed up with the enemy, and he's we didn't know he had a criminal record and all that sort of stuff. But I suppose when you see someone with Nick tattoos, it sort of gives you a hint that they got something in the past, right? So that's the Rover done. Okay, we'll just go on to Meta-Propulsion, I think, from here, and come back to those ones. So I googled Meta-Propulsion to see, you know, it's a new buzzword that's popping around at the moment, and see if anything popped up. And of course, if you have a look on this page here, I'll just go back. You can see it doesn't actually mention Meta at all. It's got Meta model here for propulsion, but they don't call it Meta-Propulsion. So what's that one? Propulsion system modeling and takeoff distance. What else we got here? Meta-analysis. It looks like it seems to want to put metal in. And meta materials, which we know is a valid thing. Advances in micro satellite propulsion, still no mention there. So it looks like it's not well known. But what's interesting though is some of the things it brought up here. Like that one there. Material films for in-space propulsion by radiation pressure. Radiation pressure or solar or laser driven space sailcraft. Now, how many times have we heard that? You know, that UMA, or if it's called. I can never remember how you say it, but that's a gas-shaped thing. They reckon it had extra push when it went around the sun to normal gravity, and they reckon it was from possibly from the sun radiation pushing against it, and they reckon maybe it unfolded a thin solar cells, they call it. Of course, we couldn't see that because we had no telescope that could actually film it going around. All we could do was bounce off radio signals from it and actually form crazy, you know, like static images there that gave us a rough shape of it rotating, reflecting radiation back or whatever, microwaves back. So what else did we have here? Not really much. Maritime, environmental and technical assistance meta program. Okay, let's have a quick look at that one. It might be too big now. Should be alright though. Meta-Program promotes the research, demonstration and development of emerging technologies. So this is where the meta comes into, obviously. Practices and processes that improve maritime, industrial, environmental sustainability. What a mouthful. So it's M, obviously gets from there, M, E, and then where'd they get the T from? I must add something else on the end. Transport, oh here, species, transport, no. Transport by vessel. They must add something else on, administration. Energy efficient technologies. But it sounds like it's all related to boats. The meta here, you know, not to anything to do with space or... So it looks like it might be just a common word to use meta. Because it's got maritime in it, probably that one. So that's got nothing to do with it. But it's definitely a research program. Oh, here we go. Technical Assistance. META. So I don't think it's that one. 2009 metal model. Take off distance. Let's have a look at that one. I think it's just a buzzword that Third Phase just come across in some abstract article, was it? But to find anything useful on it, forget about it. So maybe it's still classified. Meta Films. I think that's probably the closest one we're going to get to. Meta Materials. Again, it doesn't really say much, and it's got a lot of words here. Abundant of untapped momentum of solar photons. Again, it's talking about the solar cell, isn't it? Somehow I don't think our UFOs will be using Meta-Propulsion if that's the case. Because that's the only reference to it so far. Let's go to the next page. Meta-Water Combustion. That sounds more like it. So, systems typically make use of only the thermal energy of the metal-water reaction, with the hydrogen being exhausted. So they're using metal as part of the combustion for rockets. Is that what it's saying there? High energy metal fuels for rocket propulsion. Here you go. A PDF on it. Metamaterial based nuclear structure applications. So still not much to go on. Polymer, metal and ceramic matrix. NASA focuses on propulsion systems for subsonic, supersonic and hypersonic craft. So okay, look, now we're getting closer to maybe something here. Again, it's talking about metal rather than meta. So where's the word meta come into that for a search? Again, looks like it's got too big. That should be alright. Alright, so what do we got here? I'm going to apply graphite, polyimide composites to engine components. Obviously that's got to do with heat. develop polymer matrices with higher operation temperatures. There you go. Metal matrix composites using magnesium, aluminium, titanium, and super alloy matrices are being developed for application for static and rotating engine components. Okay, so it's not using it as fuel, as well as for space applications over a broad temperature range. So again, it's just talking about making it withstand higher temperatures. So I suppose then you can use higher heat producing fuels, right? And also make the skin of a craft able to withstand closer visit to the sun, I guess, as well. Between meta-center and the center of gravity. Aircraft propulsion. So here's the word meta-center used, which looks like another terminology, and it's not a PDF, and lots of technical stuff there. Largest 3D metal printer. Churning out rockets. How about that, guys? So why would they be doing that? That was 2019. Obviously they want to better 3D print things if they're going to live on Mars, right? You want to print out a new rocket if you want to get back home. Yeah, so there's not much there on Meta-Propulsion. What if we narrow it down to the last, well, this year, past year. It's still coming up with the same searches. New rocket fuel. Can use metal as fuel. There you go. Still nothing anti-gravity about it, is it? Damn cookie things. So what's it got to say? Hypernova. Every rocket that has been launched into space so far has used exotic, flammable, toxic, expensive, rare fuels, and if you want to go out and explore space, you want to settle, create a colony or create an industry, you're not going to be able to that by relying on those kinds of fuel sources. Hypernova is building technology that allows satellites to move around in space using nothing but ordinary metal as fuel. But still, you got to dig up metal though. But I suppose Mars would have a lot of metal in the soil, wouldn't it? Would it? What gives it its red color? Would it be iron? So it goes on a bit there, which is quite interesting. Still, all the things they're playing around with, but that's talking about satellites though, not really Mars. But then I thought a better name would be called quantum propulsion, right? Whenever you put the word quantum in front of things, it sounds a lot more better instead of meta. Meta lenses, meta material. Now they got Meta-Propulsion, right? But why not quantum propulsion? Quantum lenses, I think even that came out. I talked about that a couple of months back, didn't I? That now they're not calling it meta lenses, they're calling it quantum lenses, which works at atom level. And then you got now quantum propulsion, and oddly enough, That's a real thing. So I found this quote here. A quantum vacuum thruster, QVT, or Q thruster, is a theoretical system hypothesized in use the same principles and equations of motion that a conventional plasma thruster would use, namely magnetic hydrodynamics (MHD), to make predictions about the behavior of the propellant. Yeah, sounds a bit of a mouthful there, doesn't it? So again, we've got mention here of the EM drive. So I suppose that's basically what it breaks down to, right? It's using microwaves to bend space in front of the craft, right? A blueprint for a quantum propulsion machine. 2009, so it's not something that's old. It's one in the last 10 years. It's Hendrik Kashmir. Suggested in 1948. Well, it does actually go back a fair bit. It goes back before Roswell there. Look at that. So let's just click on that one. So obviously back then, it's just the idea. Okay. Let's have a look. It's 80. It should be alright. What have we got here? Go away. Emerging technology for the ARXIV, whatever that is. The quantum vacuum has fascinated physicists ever since. Read all that out already. 1948. It would exert force on a pair of narrowly separated conducting plates. Here we go. Sounds like a capacitor, which is what Townsend Brown was working on. Their idea was eventually confirmed when the force was measured in 1997. Just how to exploit this force is still not clear. Okay, what do we got here? Some mathematics. Okay. Nanoparticles have to be rotated in the required way to generate force. Fiegel calls it magnetic electric quantum will. So I just love their quantum words, don't they? Of course, nobody is sitting getting a free lunch. Okay. Just bear with me, my eyes are not terribly great going. I've got little stringy floaters in the eyes that get in the way when I'm reading. Okay, now it goes on to the Mars landing. Okay. Actually, that's quite an interesting one. I'll just copy and paste that on the side. So yeah, you can see we're not really doing video analysis yet. But we're actually looking at stuff that's really connected to UFOs, right? Technology. Quantum engine. Because I do this stuff, and eventually another year down the track I say, we actually did find something about that a year ago. Now it's actually being used in a jet or whatever. So it's good to keep up with stuff like that. What else did we find here that was quite interesting? Mythical form of space propulsion finally gets a real test. Okay, so they prove it does work. And 2014. I'll just go through another page here. Entanglement as a fuel. They do like putting entanglement in things, don't they? The type of engine couldn't currently be used to power a car. However, the power in a quantum measurement engine is measured in... Okay, let's have a quick read of that one. Science Daily. Non-car's engine burns gasoline and converts energy from heat with combustion into mechanical. However, energy is wasted. A typical car only converts around 25% of the energy in gasoline. Wow. That's pretty bad, isn't it? I didn't know it was that bad. And there you go, always learning something new here. Engines that run 100% efficiency are still more science fiction than science fact. But new research from the University of Rochester may bring scientists one step closer. Blah blah blah. Microscopic power tasks. I suppose when they're talking about microscopic, I suppose they could be talking about nanotechnology, right? Could be used to power little devices that go into your blood system. Little robots so they can go around, unblock veins and stuff, make you live longer. Okay, too much reading there for me. And we don't want to use the reader, but anyway. But like I said, you can do your own research on this. Me, I've just done a quick search on things. NASA team claims impossible space engine works. There you go. 2016 that was. I think I've covered that before. The EM drive. Harnessing 0 point energy. Again, that's what I was talking about with Tesla and his experiments with radiant energy. But these guys think, you know, they got rid of the term free energy when it's not actually free. It's harnessing energy from the universe that's all around us, and if you can tap into it and then convert it to another form that we're used to, it's then free, isn't it? But does it impact on the universe is the question. Does it take away something from the universe and gradually break down the system? But maybe that's what the aliens are using, right? So they're using the 0 point thing, which is actually like dark energy. And they call it the quantum field theory here. So they're like adding always stuff into quantum. I still think it's like normal, everyday science, and you don't need quantum to be added into everything. Because Tesla wasn't quantum, that's for sure. He's just conventional, he was experimenting and discovered things by accident, like most of the great inventions tend to be, right? Quantum thruster physics could help make... Here we go. Warp drive could become reality with quantum thruster physics. Okay, so I think I've covered that one before. That's the EM drive, how it's sped in space. Well, but is it? They're only guessing still. Faster than light, gravitic propulsion now today. So let's have a look at that one. Via the Quantum Effect, 2nd edition, so it's a book someone's written. Dr. William. Always someone trying to make money. $8. Just tell us, man. We don't want to buy a book. 5 out of 5. One person bought it. In search of life on Mars. Okay, let's just move on. Fascinating though. Let's see what's coming up now. Future maybe. Or maybe the generation said it'd be around before. But I think, what was the prediction? The next UFO wave will be in 2035. Have you heard that thing before? It's a sidetracked here. Next UFO wave prediction. So, if I'm still alive, let's see how far away is that? 14 years. I'll be getting up there in age, probably. 60s, 70. Who knows? Diabetes shortens our life. Prediction. Let's see. The aliens are coming within the next 18 months. No, I don't think so. That's not what the mathematics said. But it'd be good if it was. Classified hundreds of official documents. I really know that. I thought we might be able to find the equation they were using. What someone did is they looked at all the major UFO waves that happened since the 1940s, and they plotted it on the graph and worked out there's a ratio of 2.04, and they could then plot it on a graph for predicting years when UFO waves should happen based on mathematics. That's a good idea, but mathematics is just a tool, right? It doesn't always work that way. But that's funny, it should end up with a static number like that. Looks like it's not talked about. Pretty sure it's 0.024. I can't find it for you guys, but just believe me. 2035. Not sure which month. I was hoping to find out. It when meant to be something happening, and it could be linked to that dream I had. Of course, it could be it's going to happen in Arizona. So if I'm around or not, and you can remember what I said here today, you can say, well, Paul said he had a dream about Arizona, and there's a mathematics prediction of 2035, and it's happened. And maybe if you're there when it happens, you may be taken by the aliens. Before the planet blows up, of course. Fear-mongering, but that could be the case, right? We don't know what's going to happen in 2035. Wherever a big asteroid's going to hit us. Maybe that's going to be the wave when lots of UFOs come and offer the chosen ones, the ones that were contacted and have the dream. But like in Close Encounters, right? And if you're there at the right time, the government will probably try and stop you because you've been invited to go aboard. So that's what I like to think anyway. So all the younger people out there, pay attention. And there might be something in what I'm saying here. So let's get on to fuel cells. I'll come back to that one. There we go for time. I know I do like to talk a lot. But there's a lot to cover. So what is a fuel cell? Let's because it was mentioned that the fuel cell is used in these flying cars, right? And I sort of skimmed over it, trying to work out how the engine works. Now, let's just find out if we can get a diagram of it. And see if we can make head or tail of it. So there's lots of diagrams here. Fuel cells. Okay, what do we got? Not a very clear picture, is it? Electrical voltage. So in comes H2 and oxygen. Hydrogen in and oxygen in. Combines to create water and electricity. Okay. Nice simple diagram that tells how it works. Now I was thinking that it was taking water in and splitting it into hydrogen and oxygen. Now someone said that I was wrong. Sure enough I am, but the fuel cell could be used in like a different way. Alright, so let's just have a look at these other ones here. See if they're all the same. Hydrogen in, oxygen in, water out, electricity out. Yep. And that one's looking at atoms. Hydrogen combining with oxygen releases energy. And we've got here one, proton exchange membrane fill cell. So that one sounds different. And it's all blurry. I don't know about yours, but my eyesight's not reading that too well. And here we go, fuel cell, electric motor, and you've got a hydrogen tank. So I guess Elon Musk said hydrogen fuel cells were stupid over using new age batteries, right? There's carbon batteries that uses a layer of diamond. It has like a nuclear leftover nuclear dead from power stations, right? And it generates electricity up to 10 years without changing the battery. And it reckons it's relatively safe because the radiation given off is only slightly higher than background. So yeah, but having a hydrogen tank sounds very risky, doesn't it? That's like a boom boom. You know, everyone never forgets about the Hindenburg. So if someone crashed into the back of you there, that would create a big mess. So does that mean the flying cars are using fuel cells, which means they must have a tank of hydrogen in it, going by that. And a tank of oxygen coming in. So there's not actually, it's clean energy because it's producing water, but is it really safe to have hydrogen in a flying car? Somehow I don't think so. Unless it's a really small tank, it doesn't create big explosion, but still. Is that the way of the future, using fuel cells? Unless you create the hydrogen and oxygen on demand, right? But then you're defeating the purpose, right? Because you can actually use electricity in reverse, right? You can make the water bubble and it separates the two gases, the hydrogen and oxygen. Which is what I thought was happening in the car, which makes more sense because you need water, then you need a bank of batteries that splits it into separate gases. So yeah, hydrogen is part of the equation there, which I don't think is a very good idea. I don't know if people want flying cars that are basically bombs in the sky, right? Like if terrorists got hold of a flying car and just strapped on a bomb, right? Fly it straight down into city blocks and boom, boom. Be like the worst in 9/11. So let's have a look. Are fuel cells safe? There you go. Straight away, you've got lots of things coming up here. Disadvantage of fuel cells. Fuel cells and electromotors are less durable than petrol engines and diesel engines, so they are not so lasting. Fuel cells are very expensive. There's no countrywide network of hydrogen fill-in stations. There you go. Not a good idea. So that means it must be using electricity and from the fuel cells. So what kind of engines would it have in? So obviously I started researching that side of it too, but we'll get that in a minute. Dangers we wanted. I wanted to see the other safety concerns. Safety concerns. 2 prime dangers from fuel cells and hydrogen power vehicles are the danger of electrical shock, and of course you don't want to spark next to hydrogen, do you? And flammability of the fuel. Fuel cells power vehicles by electromechanical combustion, hydrogen gas and oxygen. And as you know, if oxygen is released near flammable stuff, it makes a good explosion as well. Because it's anti, what do you call it, oxidation. That's what they use for rockets, right? Safe use of hydrogen. So what's Elon Musk safe? So it makes me wonder if that's more of a publicity stunt. The prototype really is not practical, but time would tell, I guess. Musk calls hydrogen fuel cells stupid. Okay, let's have a look. But hydrogen cars may yet threaten Tesla. Okay. So they got sort of, we're not going to be able to read it probably. They're always trying to force ad block, you know, turn it off and all that. Stuff off. I'd rather not read your website. I don't want to support an organisation that keeps telling lies all the time, that's for sure. Hates fuel cells. Here we go, another one. Full cells. Electric vehicles were once the Hydrogen is still relatively expensive and precious, but researchers are working to give a breakthrough. Made by product of fertilizer, South Korea. Yeah, I think I'd have to agree with Elon on that one. My voice is going. So let's see, where's the one I want? No, this one here, I think. Okay, so what do we got? Don't tell me it's going to be ad block. Electric planes are here, but they won't solve flying CO2 problem. So these are new experimental planes. So this is where the fuel cells come in with electricity, right? Hydrogen to electricity to water vapor, and electricity to power these new type of jet engines, right? The UK government plans to ban the sale of new conventional petrol and diesel cars by 2040. Clearly the plan is for all citizens to be driving electric or hybrid electric cars. I suppose that's going to happen in America as well. And New Zealand, that's very expensive. But can electrification help cut emissions from that other carbon intensive form of passenger transport, flying? But for large aircraft, all we use more frequently is unlikely to happen anytime soon. So what's that saying? It's possible for small aircraft to be powered by electricity. In fact, several companies are already developing small electric aircraft, and they could come on the market within the next few years. So when was this article written? Have we got a year number? 2019. So we're in the period of these jet engines. So is that flying car using one of these, 4 of these compact jet engines and 2 on the back to push it along? I suspect so. Because it would need some vents, right? And we saw a lot of vents on one of the drawings there. And there we go. Just normal jet engines, but not using kerosene. That's what they use, isn't it? So they're talking about hybrid systems again. So you can never ever get rid of the oil completely, right? And of course, what happens when you get a power cut, right? You hear about lightning storms and stuff, and you lose all your engines. You're going to be crapping yourself, right? So, and if these flying cars crap out in electrical storms. So that's another thing, is why is there a height factor on that flying car? It was like 1,500 meters, right? Obviously, is it due to compression of the cabin? When you need compression, I thought it was like 10,000 feet. When do you need to pressurize cabin? Probably should put plane, but let's see. Pressurization becomes increasingly necessary at altitudes above 10,000 feet. There you go. Which is 3,000 meters, which is double the distance again, right? So why limit the flying car to 1,500? So what's the other factors there? Jet engine, maybe because there's a lack of air. Yeah, for jet engines, thinner above 5,000 feet. See what comes up with that. So now the air, the greater the AOA required. It's got a handbook here talking about 5,000, 10,000, 15. So I reckon it's got to be to do with the thickness of the air. It's got to on and the type of jet engines, electrical jet engines they're using, right? So I'm sort of guessing here, but a scientific guess what the limitation would be caused by. Yeah, it talks about above 5,000 feet. Here we go. Any density altitude above 5,000 unless your engine. Okay, let's have a look at that one. So yeah, you have to be a plane expert, right? Aviation degree or something. Wonder if we can find a quick answer. Pressure, sea level 15 degrees. So that's talking about taking off in the mountains. I suppose that would affect the engines, right? Altitude, lack of oxygen. There's a lot of information here. Here we go. When it comes time for takeoff at any density altitude above 5,000 feet, unless your engine is turboed or supercharged, maximum your engine's performance by lean in properly and review your maximum takeoff performance checklist. So it does seem like 5,000 feet is the problem. If it's freezing cold at 4,000 foot elevation airport, your plane will perform as it was flying from 1,000 feet lower. So temperature and all that sort of stuff. So it must be that they must put a limit on 5,000 because of the jet engines they're using in it. What we more likely to see is short haul flights in the next 20 to 30 years. There's hybrid aircraft that combine current turbofan engines. Okay, we just read about that. So it can go above 5,000 feet with new electric propulsion systems which obviously go below 5,000 feet. This is more flexible hybrid system could be optimized to provide the high thrust required to take off and the energy density needed for a long cruise. Well, if it's light enough, right, like the flying car thing, FLYTER, 4 jet engines, electric engines down the sides could easily lift it up. 2 passengers, and then the 2 back engines kick in, and the lifting off ones obviously taper off, right? So they need less power. But I don't know whether I trust it. So I definitely would have to have a parachute system, and I don't like the idea of using hydrogen. So there would have to be a limit when the gas pressure gets too low, where it can't actually create power the hydrogen fuel cells, right? Anyway. And another way to do it is take the hydrogen gas, create electricity, and then electrolysis propulsion. Now that's where you split it from water again. How'd you say that word?
Electrolysis propulsion for spacecraft application.
That's the one I was trying to find. Electrolysis. Okay, so has been recognized over the last several decades as a viable option to meet many satellites and spacecraft propulsion requirements. So to me that suggests that they got like efficient batteries on board, which they charge with solar cells, right? Not through hydrogen fuel cells. And then they just use it for water aboard to split it into the 2 gases and use the gases to create an explosion out the back to push it along. That's once it's out in space, right? It hasn't got gravity problems, you know, it hasn't got the gravity issue. This technique, however, was never used for in-space missions. In the same time frame, water-based fuel cells have flown in a number of missions. So they're using it to power up electronics in the spacecraft, right? These systems have many components similar to electrolysis propulsion systems. Recent advances in component technology include lightweight tankage, water vapor fed electrolysis, fuel cell technology, and thrust chamber materials for propulsion. And as we said, found out that they're using a combination of metal as well, metal water, to cause a bigger explosion, right? As you know, the Twin Towers, when the planes crashed into it, they melted into aluminium. Or aluminum, as the Americans call it. And when you spray sprinkler water on that, it creates a big explosion, because they're saying they could literally see the fuselage of the plane dripping out the corners of the Twin Towers, right? But no one considered that when the sprinkler system come on, it created a water aluminium explosion. It's quite explosive, right? And of course they're talking about using aluminium powder mixed in with the water here. Because it oxidizes, you know, you got heat, oxygen, and metal, and it oxidizes and creates a vast amount of energy, right? I'm not sure if you can find actually a video on that. Now this show's turned out to be very scientific. Probably scare off most of you people. Anyway, aluminium, how do you spell it? Aluminium explosion. I'll just see if anyone's got a video of dust explosion. Look, here you go, look. Preview tests 2018. Explosion rocks Georgia aluminium plant. Boom. There you go, broken window. Okay, let's have a look at this explosion here. Everybody likes explosions. Whoa. Okay, you can see it's not really much, probably much, but it creates a lot of energy. Oh, there you go. Yeah, it doesn't tell us how much he used in it, but I can bet it wasn't really much. Okay, cool. So they're exploding different things here. What was that one? Black coal. And also by far the aluminium was the most explosive there. Anyway, so I don't think the flying car is going to be using splitting the two gases to fire rocket engines using aluminium powder or whatever. So I don't we can discount that. I think it's going to be electrical engines, right? I'll just post a link to that anyway. I should have posted the other one too. NASA electrolysis. There we go. Fancy not knowing how to say that. Okay. Okay, so here we go. We've got another one here from ESSA, Space Solutions. Fuel cells and electrolyzers for space applications for energy storage to propulsion. So this will be pretty much the same thing. It's got a little diagram there which I can't quite see. Okay, what have we got here? Proton exchange water, PEM. Electrolysis in a electrochemical process in which pure water, here we go, split up into hydrogen and oxygen by means of electricity using a polymer electrolyte membrane is a medium of transfer. Electrolysis process is the most suitable technology for gas production on board, even if the overall electrical chemical reaction is the same as for terrestrial plants. Some operational and design details have to be modified in order to fulfill with a audible orbit conditions. Hydrogen produced by electrolysis is essential for space missions because it's the main fuel used for propulsion of spacecraft during launch and can also be used for an orbit propulsion and deorbiting at the end of a operative life of a spacecraft. So it's one about spacecraft there rather than satellites. I think I need to get a drink, but have to lean over. What was I going to say? So they definitely got onboard water, right? Whether they can collect that from space, I don't think so. Not enough of it anyway. So you still need water. Looks, you know how you talked about UFOs and water? Could this be something that they power their craft with? Could well be, right? Water seems like the magic element in the universe, right? And you can split it into two vital gases, and our bodies need it. Oxidizes with metals. So water metal combination maybe for UFO energy that spins something really fast, creates it into maybe an electric field of some kind. So it's quite interesting how it this could relate to UFOs, because they've got to be using the same sort of physics we are, just they know how to use it better. Well, they figured out something we haven't yet. Landers, aircraft. So there you go, aircraft. So that could be flying craft. Power generated by fuel cell systems can be used for many aerospace applications. Stationary backups, military, aeronautic, what's that say? Auxiliary pallet power units, whatever that is. Unmanned aerial vehicles, there you go. Tic Tac, which would be a flying car. So here they're saying proton exchange water electrolysis. So what's the difference between that and regular fuel cells then? Reversal fuel cell system. Regenerate fuel cell system. Regenerative fuel system consists of two different stacks. One fuel cell and one electrolyzer connected to 3 storage tanks for hydrogen, oxygen and water. They operate in a closed loop. This kind of system can be used as auxiliary, here we go, power supply for spacecraft, satellites, rovers, etc. It could be possible substitute for current batteries, presenting a mass saving and higher electrical density. So maybe this doesn't sound like regular fuel cells, does it? So how's that working? So a fuel cell byproduct is water, and then you get electricity. But then why would you use electricity outputted by the first fuel cell then to re-split the byproduct water back into hydrogen and oxygen? So is it getting more energy from the conversion than it is recreating the gases again? That's how I'm reading it. So it's a closed system, they said. So it's forever taking in hydrogen, oxygen, making water, and then it's splitting water back again into the two hydrogen and oxygen into 2 tanks, and the water goes into a third one. And each one uses electricity, the other one outputs electricity. There must be some leftover electricity from the process, which sounds like free energy almost, doesn't it? So they found a way to get extra energy out of the process to charge batteries, I guess, and then they put it into a rover, and it's got endless power. Now that might be what the flying car is using after all. So we need to find out more about this one here, polymer electrolyte. Somehow it's getting something more from the protons exchange, right? It's creating more in the process. Fascinating stuff. Did I post that one? So we're talking about fuel cells. So I might be right then. For the flying cars. It's using a fuel cell. But technically it should be, if it's using these fuel cells, it should be able to fly any distance, right? Unless it can't charge. It uses more for the jet engines, electrical jet engines, than it can charge the batteries up. Complicated. And it can't burn the gas off because then it's losing the water. I suppose it could. If it's got a fuel cell that creates the two gases, it could fire up conventional rockets, right? But still have leftover power to power up the electronics in the vehicle, and also keep the fuel cells powered up, or something like that. Be interesting to see what they've got under the hood. Still sounds like electrical jet engines to me, and fuel cells. But why they're not using these closed loop ones is a question. Although I still don't like hydrogen being used. Did I post the link to that one? Oh, I spelled it wrong too. Oh, it doesn't matter. I still didn't manage to get a drink. It's getting hotter here too. It's now lunchtime and the sun's at full blaze outside of the house here. Anyway, I think we're almost done out of fuel cells here. Actually, I didn't post the link to that one, did I? I think this one's a more interesting link. Fuel cells PEM, as they call it. And maybe it's fairly new technology. Nope. I mistyped it again. Proton exchange membrane. What's the year number on that? Still looks the same, doesn't it? But material inside's got to be different. Makes it more efficient. So it's going to replace the agent alkaline fuel cell technology, which was used in the space shuttle. But when was it invented? I didn't see any year numbers. 1960s. It was not until late 1980s and early 90s that fuel cells become a real option for wider application base. So Elon Musk maybe don't know about this closed loop systems. Maybe you never know. You might be able to have a car that never needs charging, right? That would be amazing. It just recycles energy. Must be missing something though. How can you get more energy out? So it breaks convention, right? It's got to be that quantum 0 point business, if it is. Yeah, so got some equations there. Yuck. Telling us how much voltage you get from it. See, that's the problem with most things. The oxidation corrodes everything, right? So eventually the batteries don't work. They corrode over and you have to replace the lead and all that sort of stuff. It is more difficult and causes electric losses. Okay, material for this process has not been discovered. So it might be a closed loop system, but obviously it wears down over time. And of course then you have to replace the fuel cell. Same as a battery, right? So then that's probably what they want. They don't want something that's going to be running forever, right? They want to know that there's going to be electric die and fuel cells die and have to be replaced, and that's where they make the money. So it's not perfect. So it's talking about the layers of polymers. Kind of reminds me of that Meta-Materials, right, for the skin of so-called UFOs, where they got bismuth and other conducting stuff, and the bismuth atoms are meant to be so holy that it won't reflect microwaves off, so it makes the ship transparent to radar. And you can put electrical thing between the two bismuth things and charge the skin, which I think would make it mass production. And you might have to do it with several layers even. So that thing where they're talking about that piece of rock, which they're saying is from a UFO, had layers of bismuth and stuff which we can't do today because we haven't got the technology to be able to, because they both resist each other, they sort of repel each other. They don't sort of join together. You know, they don't bond on atom level. Alien scientist, where are you? This is his stuff, right? Alien scientist is meant to be into this. Not sure if you know about the guy, but yeah, he's got a team of people working on this sort of stuff, I guess, for anti-gravity. Okay, we posted that link. Okay, we're done with that one. Moving on. And I suppose we can jump to this one. The war zone. The Navy finally speaks up about its bizarre UFO patent experiments. The Navy Air Warfare Center has finally given a statement. Okay, so what they're saying. So you might remember some of these ones I talked about. As we know, patents are just simple flow diagrams pretty much of a way to protect someone's intellectual property, right? Doesn't tell you step by step how to manufacture it, the materials, and how to assemble it to make it work, right? So what have they got to say here? After reporting on the bizarre saga of the Navy's UFO patents by Dr. Salvatore Paces, I don't know, for over a year and a half, the war zone has finally gotten an on-the-record comment from the Navy Air Warfare Center, blah blah. Okay, big mouthful there, isn't it? About the scientists similarly out of this world work and the service's equally strange outright support of it. As reported in our last piece, the science and technology branches of the Navy Aviation Enterprise blah 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 took the theories of Dr. blah 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 seriously enough not to just vouch for them at the highest levels to patent examiners. Certain Chinese advances in similar areas of research, and that they were operable in nature, but also subsequently invest a significant amount of money and time into research in the so-called Pacis effect. This is a theoretical concept for generating high-intensity electromagnetic fields that could supposedly feed to hyper-theoretical breakthroughs in power generation and advanced propulsion. There we go. Weren't we just talking about something like that? Specifically, the Navy has now responded to inquiries related to the new documentation we uncovered in our most recent reports that shows hundreds of thousands of dollars were spent on Pacis high-energy electromagnetic field generator HEEMFG experiments, along with other details related to. We've got a patent there, is it? Okay, what are they saying on this? Because this wasn't particularly the one I was talking about, and one of the patents, but anyway. Tom, director, blah blah blah, confirmed several points. The high energy electromagnetic field generator testing occurred from October 2016 through September 2019. The cost was $500,000 of 3 years. Around 90% of the total 462 was for salaries, well, that kept people in jobs, while the rest was used for equipment test preparation, testing, assessment. That's not particularly much money, is it, really? Concluded testing in September. The passive effect could not be proven. Okay, so the experiments didn't prove it. No further research has been conducted, and the project has not transitioned to any other government or civilian organisation. Of course, this could be a cover-up, couldn't it? They're just saying that. Maybe it did happen and they passed it over to Bigelow or someone. We would greatly appreciate the response to our queries. It remains unclear why NORCAD was unwilling to speak with us until now. If they knew all along those experiments resulted in what appears to be a scientific dead end. Okay. In addition to the statements above, latest on Dr. Pacis, you might remember that he left NORCAD in June 2019 and moved to the Navy Strategic Systems Programs Organization. I found that he transferred to the USA Air Force this month. So they closed down that program and then they've rehired him into something else. Doesn't that suggest that maybe his experiments wasn't so unrevealing? Yeah, something a bit fishy about transfer in there. Why would you hire someone if the experiments cost you money that were cobblers? Maybe they figured out where they went wrong and they have to set up another bank of experiments, right? So it failed for the Navy, but the Air Force may not. We are still working with NORCAD to determine where Pacis was transferred within the research organisation. So they haven't kicked him out the door. Okay, so this is the one I was talking about here, Tesla ones, where it seems to create a field around a metamaterial which reduces the radiant energy that Tesla found and the energy's not being absorbed by the atoms, so the mass of the atoms gets lighter. And essentially it makes a metal craft like a helium balloon, pretty much. And you stick one of these electrical jet engines on it, which will be silent and run off a fuel cell that we just talked about, and whammo, you got a hypersonic drone. Obviously you can't put humans in it because it would accelerate too fast and turn us into paper mache or some sort of blob. But yeah, I think there was something truthful in this still. So what happens is all the debunkers got onto this and said, haha, it's all a load of nonsense, and they haven't got any working prototypes. But obviously there's a bit more going on here. Also raises a few questions about why these experiments were funded and supported so extensively by high-ranking scientists within the organization in the first place. Because there's something to it, that's why. Despite every physicist we have spoken to over the better part of 2 years asserting that the Pacers effect has no scientific basis in reality, and that the painters related to it was filled with pseudo-scientific jargon, NORCAD confirmed they were interested enough in the patents to spend more than $500,000. Exactly, despite the fact NORCAD says the experiments ended, the inventor emailed that his work accumulates culminates in the enablement of the Pacers effect, that as far as Dalton SMEs, subject matter experts, are concerned, my work shall be proven correct one fine day. So there you go. That's why he's still hired. I think it's got to do with the, in this case, it's got to be to do with the metamaterials, right? I wouldn't throw the baby out with the bathwater on that one. You're still listening, Area 51. You're still with us. I thought it might got too technical for you. I don't expect many people will watch this episode, who knows. But I'll be able to refer back to it and say, haha, I talked about it this back then. And you should have been listening to what I had to say. Okay, so Navy patents. Navy mass reduction patents. That's basically what we're looking at here. And I'm pretty sure Townsend Brown was getting close to, if not perfected this as well. And Tesla, because Tesla was also mucking around with the same stuff Townsend Brown was. As I keep saying, I have got an episode about this, going back years. You can find it here on my main page. Why is it not scrolling? Okay, so it's down here. Anti-gravity and life for Townsend Brown. I think it's actually got quite a few likes on it. 46 to 7 GUFONs. 7 GUFONs that couldn't understand the science and the stuff I was telling you here. A lot of people classed Townsend Brown as a crackpot, but when I looked at it as a non-bias look and looking at the science behind it, see if anyone else was carrying the research on. So in the episode I talk about that. So no one bites the dust here, getting closer. So lunar ones will have to be put on hold again, I think. We'll get to the lunar one recap anyway. So this one here. Why TV show proof is out there, I have to question skills of some MUFON members that claim this is a UFO. They said it was 104 Fahrenheit, 40 degrees Celsius. Well, that's correct for two heart-shaped, massive 40-inch fire balloons or Chinese lanterns. They do not enter water. The heat reduced enough for the camera not to detect over water. The heat layer over the water changed just enough. The speed was parallax. The wind direction is clearly wrong too, and so on. See my live analysis on it. So I'm not sure if you're watching that TV show, but they showed the Puerto Rico one. Is it this one here? I just had to make comment on it, and they said it was you can see I've got no downvotes on it here. I'll just add one myself because it was a good episode. We went from out of the box thinking, not knowing whether it was real UFO or not, but you might recall the one, let's see if it plays, of it flying as the helicopter picks it up. Alright, this one here. And they zoom in on a object, there it is here. That looks like it's moving quite fast, and they said the wind current wasn't going that way, which I call poppycock. I reckon it is, and it's just they miscalculated something there. Because as we know, wind can change different directions at different feet, alright, different layers. And the footage is very interesting, but when you zoom in and analyze it like I did, you can eventually see the shape of two objects where they say it breaks apart as it comes out of water, which is nonsense. About here somewhere, is it? Still flying over land. Not the best of images, is it? Can see some cars down there. It's automatically looks like it's disappeared, right? Or it's sort of fading in and out. There it is there. It's soon back out. Now it's disappeared. Oh no, it's still there. Goes on a fair bit, doesn't it? Have we lost it now? No, it's still there. We got the cross here in the way, unfortunately. Okay, so the zooming in, you can see here that now they're not spheres, right? You can start to see bumpy bits on it, and it suddenly disappears. But you can see it was rotating. Now the heat source, if it's on one side, if it rotates around, it will make it invisible to the camera. It hasn't got enough. You can still see there's something there, right? I think it pops out of water again. See, it's sort of there, but not fully there, right? It sort of pops out, and I think it breaks away into two. Anyway, I did analysis on that, so if you haven't watched it, go and check it out. I'll give you a link to it. There's no point in going over it again here, although maybe I will one day. Because they keep bringing it up on TV shows, and they're saying it can't be debunked, which is nonsense. And I'm saying the MUFON guys there haven't looked at my analysis or Mick West's analysis. Because I was trying to debunk Mick West. Mick West was saying it was blah blah blah, and I didn't really agree with it. And eventually I looked at it, and in the end I had to agree with Mick West, which is kind of frustrating because I always want to not agree with him, but so far he's very hard to find problems in his analysis. Okay, so what was that one called? Puerto Rico, was it? I forgot to look at the name. Puerto, I can't even spell it. Puerto Rico. Puerto, I think it's got a U in it somewhere, isn't it? thermal UFO. There's the tweet to it, and then you can get the link to it from there. But yeah, I did have actually another picture here. Alright, so that was the best image on the History Channel on the show, right, of the two objects splitting apart. Now, if you have a look at my analysis, I get some better images than that. But you can see it's not two sphere shapes at all. It's got something happening. And you can see the heat. So it's very patchy, right, on the thermal. Anyway, just recover that one again. So at least they confirmed some other stuff. The temperature, they said, was 40 degrees, and I think you can search fire balloons or Chinese lanterns. What is typical temperature for fire balloons? Do we call it fire balloons or Chinese lanterns? They're pretty much the same thing. I think they've got some other names for them as well. How's the audio sound? I haven't checked it lately. Hello. Sounds right this end. Okay. Yeah, let's see if we can find anything on temperature. Balloon flower overview. Japanese bellflower. 80 degrees. Wee bit lower than 104. Is that Chinese lanterns though? No. It looks like it's some type of plant. Okay, so that's not what we're after. Temperature Chinese balloon, I said. Balloon flowers. Well, you never know what's going to pop up in searches, do we? Hot air balloon. We want Chinese lanterns. What they're talking about, 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah. River balloons, no. Stupid Google. Needs to be more clever. I think this one's going to be a wee bit harder to pin down. Typical temp for Chinese balloon. Lanterns, maybe. Lantern information. Here we go. Temperature between 70 and 75 Fahrenheit. I've seen it a lot higher than that, so I'm not sure what this information is. Is it talking about damn flowers again? That's why. These things. Very interesting plant though. Growing Chinese lantern plants. There you go. Well, that's definitely wrong then. Sky lanterns. Here we go. I tell you what, it's really hard to find some information sometimes. It really is. That's why you spend hours searching the stuff and connecting all the dots. Does it tell us? Tells us how it works. A candle heats up and presses against the outside and then comes out the side. Cold air in, hot air out. And so it goes upwards. Okay, so what's the temperature though, guys? What's the scientific stuff? Something about gravity. That's quite an interesting page though. Got mathematics, mass, force. So I suppose you could use all that in a mathematical way to build a perfect Chinese lantern of any size, right? Well, it must be a physical weight limit as well. Paper. If you get it big enough, it's going to be require a lot of big candle inside. Here we go, heat and power of one candle, 46 watts, but it doesn't tell us the outside skin temperature. Whoa, it's got a lot of information here. Someone's done some experiments with it. What do we got here? Lift temperature, here we go. Talks about Celsius theoretical measured. So I think that's talking about internal heat of 60 Celsius, right? But the outside is going to cool down. The outside of material is going to be a lot cooler, so it's going to head down to that 40 degrees Celsius range, or around about there. I don't think he talks about the outside temperature. He's talking again here of the inside temperature, I think. Temperature in balloon, right? It's not the outside. We want the outside temperature because that's what they're measuring on the video. Certainly got a lot of information there. I might just post a link to it. Lift in graph. Here we go. What's that saying? 20 to 40. What's that? Newtons. So it must have been like a project for high school kids, was it? Universities to study it. Seems like a good project to do. Just shame they didn't do the outside temperature. I'll just post a link to that because that's probably the most we've ever seen on Chinese lanterns documented. Really, I should bookmark all useful links, so I've sort of got a knowledge base so you can just refer back to it. But I think it's still missing the crucial bit. They wanted the outside temperature. And I have come across it before, but looks like I'm not going to find it now. Outside temperature. I believe it doesn't go up very well if the outside temperature is like 35 degrees Celsius outside, which is like 110 Fahrenheit, is it? Or something like that. So that means it's close to the liftoff basic temperature needed, right? Which means the outside is going to be less than 35 degrees Celsius. But yeah, I don't think I can find the information on the outside temperature at this stage. I know I have read it before on one particular link, but it's really hard to pin it when you search it from fresh again. So we're done with that one. Now this one here is the last thing we're going to do. And I tried to find the original video and I think he's deleted it. So I wonder why, because he knew I was going to get onto it. But this one here, he was blabbing about stargates, do they exist? Oh my god, new evidence that can't be explained. Is that the one I debunked before? But you can see here, he's looking at like Area 51, or maybe somewhere in Arizona. Remember that they had these concrete pads in the shape of a circle. And some buildings. You may recall a couple live shows back now where I was talking about radar blimps. To me that looked like a radar blimp location, right? And they're saying it looks like a Tic Tac, and it's actually got wings on it out the side here. So I wonder if that was one of these radar blimps, right? And that's just a shadow being cast underneath or something. But I know in the past that Tyler had put up something similar, and it turned out to be like a test location for nose cones for planes. You'll probably be able to find it in my episodes for wind tunnel testing, and they'd stored it outside on this concrete pad on a stand. But here I think it's very similar. It's on a stand here, and I think what we're seeing is maybe not a blimp. I was hoping to find the location so we could zoom on it ourselves, but I think it's something on a stand, maybe a shape of a possible nose cone or plane shape, a drone shape maybe, and they're doing an experiment with radar to see whether it's radar invisible, right? That's amazing right there. This is a triangle. Well, I don't even see it being a triangle. Looks like it's symmetrical, right? Like I said, I don't think we can find the video now. I left it too long. But it might be on third phase still. So I bookmarked GUFON here. So it should be in his list of videos called Stargate, but I don't think it's anywhere here. He's still got the stupid videos up, terminating me. What an idiot. Totally got it wrong again and made himself look like an idiot as usual. And I'm still yet to finish off that movie I'm working on. It's a big project. I have to be selective of what clips I use because I got so many clips, hundreds of this guy. Smoking gun, structures. Is that the one there? Maybe. Possible. He's renamed it. Maybe. Need to go and confirm it's Tic Tac. Don't think so. Can't see anything with Stargate. There's one with Stargate. Google Earth Stargate. I think that's the one, the old one with the arch, isn't it? So let me just have a quick look. Maybe it might be the one. Maybe you got lucky. Looks like it's looking down. Okay. I'll just click at various spots just in case we happen to find it. There we go. Is that the one? Oh no, that's the old one. Ah, damn. He's renamed the video, hasn't he? Let's see, what year, what date was it? Dum dum dum. I need to stop saying that's a Kiwi way for pause. I could have silence. February the 3rd. And do we have... See, why didn't they put the proper dates on the thumbnails? That really annoys the hell out of me. So let's see, if we click into it, does it tell us the date then? Jan. So it was somewhere around about here then, obviously. Could that be the one? Or has he simply deleted the video because he knew he's totally wrong in it? Embarrassing. That's what he does, right? Was that the place? Is that the concrete pad? I'm not sure what that is. Nope. I doubt if they give us the coordinates anyway, because I would have put it into the comment, I think. It's getting a wee bit too hot in here now. I might have to round up in a minute. I was meant to finish on this one, but looks like we're not going to have any show of finding the original video. So that was Jan. Should have been on that one there. He may even cut the segment out of it, out of the video. He does that occasionally too. Let's have a look at that one. What's the date on that one? Jan 22nd. Okay, let's keep on going. Date on that one. 23rd. That one. 26, we're getting closer. Crop circles. 27th. It'll be on this line here somewhere then. 28th. Oh, what happened there? Lost my place now. 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. Maybe it's this one. February the 3rd, so maybe this is it. Oh no, it's these idiots. That idiot there saying he's scared of me. I'm not sure if you heard that one. Well, I did upload it. Let's see, this guy's really scared of me.
We have a strategic need not to
closure thing and all that.
Came to Nibiru. Yeah.
I don't know where it was on the video.
It's I heard different things. Like it could possibly have been back.
The guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
Ark and Close Encounters. So thank you, sir. Like the way the Phoenicians used to make reed.
Yeah, let's see if I can find the spot, because actually it was kind of funny. The comment. Totally scared of me, they are. Small channel. This guy's terrified of me. Oh dear. Whereabouts was it? There we go. Out there. I going back to the 4th. And can't be that one. Not that one. A lot of ufologists out there. Telling them, the government. Perhaps he's deleted it out. Out there, and also with third phase. Is that the one?
Out there.
Thanks.
And I also work with Third Phase, so tonight I think there's going to be a Third Phase watch.
No, he works with Third Phase. There you go. Channel. I'll try and pull. Let's see if they bring my name up. It's funny how you can never find it. There we go. Pull. No. Not that one. All from Australia. Here we go. Have a listen to this. I don't even know where I live, people. Hopefully, Area 51 knows I live in New Zealand. Have a listen to this. This is funny. So we're going to have to find that picture. Or he's deleted it.
As long as it's not Paul from the UK, we're all set.
Paul from Australia.
Oh, is that, yeah.
That's where I think
Australia.
New Zealand.
New Zealand. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, they put him on an island with all the others.
That's where he belongs.
Yeah, frozen tundra. That's why he's so miserable.
I don't blame him. I don't blame him.
He can't get off.
He should be miserable, though.
He is. He's miserable. I mean, where his life?
I live in paradise, guys.
Yeah.
GUFON and Thirdphase got no life other than us, and everybody left him. His co-host dropped out. His friends won't talk to him anymore.
I know.
I got people reaching out to me. I'm like, whoa, wait, what? And I'm not believing what they're telling me. I'm like, I think you're just saying that to get me to be mad at Paul so you can give him information to use against me.
That's right. You see how it works? That's what I was telling you about 9 months ago, man. If only the people in ufology could focus on UFOs and not each other.
And the weird thing is, he's the only one. He's the only one.
No, I'm not.
He's a thorn. He's a real thorn in my side.
It doesn't bother me. I don't pay attention to him until somebody tells me something. And you don't need to tell me anything. I don't care. He can do whatever he wants. 2 people watch him. It's not like he's got 10,000 people watching him. That'd be a different story.
Yeah, but still, he's trying to give you a low blow and.
Oh yeah.
A low blow. Blowtorch maybe. And you can see how these guys are really scared of me and what I do here. In fact, what I did today on the science of fuel cells and future propulsion systems, I don't think these guys could even cover it, because they don't understand enough. They don't know how to research stuff. They don't know how to connect the dots, right? This guy here just looks at rocks, I think after this he brings up a rock. Let's see. Here we go. Here's a rock, right? It's the same carbon in Mars, apparently. That's a rock, but yeah, to them it looks like a face with a mouth here and eyes or stuff. Ridiculous, isn't it?
And now it's important to split screen it with. Since I can't see.
Yeah, so I was called fat, right?
Satisfaction
by his side commenters. So this guy's pretty big too. But yeah, hypocrites really. Let's see. Where's the side by side? Do they have a side by side? I think they do. Comparing it.
Real quick. Here's the first one. I've actually blurred it, got rid of those blocks.
Yeah, we see you.
As much as I can.
All right, I'll take you off.
Now you can start to see these teeth starting to
We'll watch the video. Go ahead. I'll vape you.
So they're all smoking and doing drugs, right?
You smoke.
And the eyes starting to pop out now.
That explains why he's got a croaky voice.
Shadow in there. And you can just about make out a nostril there. Now, what this is here, I still cannot make it out. I'll show you the next enhancement.
There's a rock.
And I've gone in and darkened the shadows a bit more and highlighted some of the lighter parts. But I haven't gone crazy with it because there is a limit to what...
Let's move on a bit. Anyways, here we go. He's saying it's the same as the head down here on the temple down in South America. Alright, just absolutely nonsense. Anyway, we didn't find the bit we're after. So I don't think it's in that video. But we might have to give up trying to find the Area 51 location. Because I didn't realise it had been renamed or taken down since... which one was that one now? It was up here, wasn't it? So I wonder if it's on here. that looks like a Stargate. Last one. After this, we'll close down. Don't need that up. Okay.
For the $4.44. Thank you very
for the
much
$4.
For that. That is very generous of you.
Yes, money thrown at him. Okay. Could that be the one? No, it looks like crop circles again. Okay. Crop circles again. Says Mars. February the 2nd, so kind of annoying. I can't find that video anymore. I reckon it's deleted it. Just want to focus on that one. But yeah, I can't see it anymore. Anyway, Third Face has probably got it, but they got so many videos up, it's going to be impossible to find it probably. Would be good to get some coordinates of it. So again, we're looking for the 3rd. And anything that looks like a Stargate here. That one. Stargate, here we go.
This is really unbelievable.
Unbelievable. How many times have we heard that? So that's on 20th, so we've got to go forward from there. 20th, there. Check that one.
The Defense Intelligence Agency.
Yeah, what's the date on that one? 23rd. That one. 28th. Probably go past it.
I said object.
29th. Must be close here somewhere.
I'm also curious what kind of...
Oh no, not that guy. 31st, so still got to go on.
TJ, whatever you captured...
February, it could be close to it. Just trying to thumbnails. Sure, I would have come across it. It was in that one, because I think I debunked that one. Where do I get to? That one. Is the 3rd. Okay, is it in this one? Aha. I think it might be in this one. Okay, so the Star of David. And they're talking about having cannons in it. I'm going to zoom in. But have we got a location to all these? Probably not. Come on. No GPSs. Probably on screen though, is it? Nope.
Wherein, if you are able to access this through certain meditations and disciplines and activate it in an energetic sense, you are able to...
See, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Alright, so they got... let's see if I can zoom in. They got something right in the middle there. And they got tubes which are saying are missiles. Which it could be. Missile, 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 missile. So to me that could be like area they use for target practice, right? They use flower bombs, right? So they want to drop it from different altitudes and speeds and see if they can drop it on the target in the middle without hitting any of the missiles or ammunition dumps, probably. So that's probably, you know, Star of David's, that's going to stand out as a really good target, right? It's going to be white. And these will be dummy target places. So they might have to take out each of the missiles without taking out the middle bit. Right? So I don't think there's any mystery there. That's going to be some, either like a target range, most likely, next to the military base. Also, it could be a parade area where they practice marching and lining up with each of the weapons, each unit or whatever. So it could be used for two things. Definitely looks like some sort of dummy missile there. As if they're going to leave a bacon missile out in the heat, right?
Structure.
So have we got any of the other ones we're after here? Here we go. Is this the one? Looking good. Here we go. We got it. Stargates do exist. Okay, but there you go. I should have searched on Third Phase. So he copied the name of it and later renamed his episode, obviously, or deleted it, because that's the name of his episode. Okay, so let's see what this
dollars and do this. This means something. All right, let's keep it going.
Do you want? This seems to be some kind of triangular shaped object, and another one. We have two triangular shaped
okay. Why did they zoom away instead of zooming in?
Objects in a strange landing pad formation.
Not really. So what did I say? It would be like a test plane for testing out radar.
All right, let's keep it.
Okay, have we got GPS coordinates for that one? Can't see anything in the comments. A bit of a shame, because we can do a lot more. We can see how deviant they are.
Going.
Do you want? This seems to be some kind of triangular shape.
This just excuse me. Okay. So it looks like it's got a platform going out to the middle section there. It doesn't look like a blimp from that angle. You know, it kind of looks like a radar dish of some sort, doesn't it? Some testing out different radar systems. And so look, you can see, looks like it's got some sort of curvature on it and spins around probably. Some sort of testing facility. And we got a place mark there, but have we got any coordinates? Let's just keep on going.
Object and another one. We have two triangular.
I don't see how they say that's triangular. That's pretty crappy triangular craft of that
shaped objects. In a
okay, so it's near the runway, and it's near a road system on the other side. So it's on the Salt Lake itself. Well, it makes sense that they bring it on one way and then they take it off the other way, or a truck or whatever, instead of having to make a double road that goes back out. They just make it into a big loop. Have we got any coordinates here? No.
Strange landing pad formation.
answered.
I just think it's a radar system.
Take a look at this. Okay, where are the runways? Where would any kind of craft land in here besides a helicopter? Are these strange?
It's not. It's got roads in and out, so it's obviously cutting, bringing it down here, put it on the pad, and driving off again. I reckon it's various things are testing. Doesn't look like any sort of super weapon where it shoots it up into the sky, does it? It wouldn't have it out in plain view like that. So satellite, they'd have it like blurred out if it was on top secret.
TR-3B shaped aircraft?
These guys make a story out of a molehill, don't they? So to me that looks like various trucks there actually, isn't it? Semis are lined up. Maybe a crane. I reckon it's a test platform. They have like a test platform. Let's see. Still think it's a test platform, maybe for testing out radar. And let me just finish up on this. It's going to be a long episode today, isn't it? But anyway, it doesn't matter. So a side view would be like some sort of shape of a plane. Oh, need the pen. What's going on here? Yeah, stuffed up. Go back. Some shape of a plane or a drone or something they're testing, and underneath you can see these triangle bits where they have it like on a platform, but like that. Because they don't want, probably made from some sort of material that's not going to reflect radar back, right? Probably could draw it better. Let's do it with templates. Let's see. Plane. Where's the plane? We've got a rocket. We'd pick a rocket. Here we go. Oh. Rocket. Okay, so you're going to test that for radar. Stealth. Alright. You want to... Oh, that can stay there. You want to test it on the platform. And it's going to be like something like that, right? Where it sort of goes around it. Probably two of those, you know, like I'm talking about, you've seen it that way. But side one, it'll be like that, right? Then they'll be firing from that building. Probably from here. Some high energy particles, maybe some microwaves at it. And they're rotated around, and they'll be measuring it back on these sensors at various places around the pad here. What kind of reflections they're getting back off it. So be testing probably stealth technology, because remember the B-52 and all that SR-71 all developed there, right? So it kind of makes sense that they'll be mucking around still with radar cloaking technology. But yeah, these guys are saying it's a UFO. And there you go, it hasn't got the thing in the platform now. See that? They went back in time. And you can see it's got the two posts that I'm talking about where it sits on top. Whatever thing they're trying to test. But anyway, I think we've rounded it up there anyway. If you can, I'll give you a link to that episode, even though I don't like promoting it. And see if you can find the coordinates so that we can have our own look at it sometime. So as a test platform, probably for radar. And we're seeing similar with nose cones being tested for radar. And let's see. I might even be able to find something. Testing platform for nose cones at lab. I don't know. See what happens for that. Images. Okay. Crane. Similar type structures, right? I want to see aerial view. See, there's another one. Testing out boat holes. Haven't got any pictures. What was one of the locations they do it? Testing Navy base or naval base. Not all Area 51, but they have these various places set up throughout America. See, there's one with a rocket on it. I know, third phase, not third phase, Secure Team did one very similar. May have even been the image. Eastern platform, satellite. Let's just put that in. Better finish up though. Here we go. Is that the one? Looks very similar. Again, something needs to be pre-searched before a show because nothing's popping up. Everyone's got a circular road going that way. Yep, no luck. You just have to believe me. There's testing pads just like that all around America at Air Force bases and stuff. Anyway, I'll just leave it there then. And we'll cover that one next time, hopefully. This time I will cover it. And it's getting like 33 degrees in here, so I'm got to get going. Because I'm cooking. Because I need to open the door. Don't save. So yeah, someone stuck with us for the whole time. Thank you for that, and I'll say good night. Hopefully we can get some more people to join us on the live on the side in the future, but maybe that won't happen till BitChute goes live or live streams, because I don't think people like Twitch. Maybe because they banned and censored people, right? Thanks for listening. So probably have a few hundred watches when it's uploaded next. Good night, everybody. It's hot. Another hot day in New Zealand. Wrap up quick on this one, I think, instead of the full music. because it's already long enough.